Well, it may have taken the full 7 game series, but the Celtics finally beat the Raptors in a series they should have taken care of in 5 games. So the Celtics finally wrapped up the series. I think they should have 2 games ago, because for obvious reasons, the Celtics should have been up 3-0 in this series. If they were up 3-0, they will have wrapped this up in 5 games. But instead, obviously, we all know what happened in Game 3 with the OG Anunoby game winner. And then the Raptors were able to win Game 4 because the Celtics can get over what happened in Game 3. So the series was tied up. Then the Celtics absolutely steamroll the Raptors in Game 5, and then Game 6, which was another game the Celtics should have won. Basically, the Celtics had chance after chance after chance to win this series, but they let the Raptors hang around, and that's what you get. Especially in a playoff series, you can't let the good teams hang around, because then stuff like this happens where you have to play them in a dogfight in Game 7. So good on the Celtics for finally getting past the Raptors, but obviously Celtics fans are probably still kicking themselves, for obvious reasons, because I guarantee you that they will not be able to get away with the stuff they got away with against Miami, which is, in my opinion, will be a much, much, much tougher matchup than the Raptors. I'll probably do a full dive series preview for that, considering that series won't start until Tuesday, so I'll give you a couple of days to make a video on that. But yeah, the Celtics, they went with a small ball lineup that I don't think they'd gone with this entire series, or at least it's the first time I'd seen it. So they went with a small ball lineup of Tatum, Brown, Walker, Marcus Smart, and Grant Williams. Now, to be fair, Grant Williams is only out there because Rob Williams, he was doing okay, but he was really hurting their spacing, and also Daniel Tice was in foul trouble, so they decided to go with Grant Williams, and I think it was the right move, because it was it was a super small lineup that the Raptors didn't really know how to defend, and also I gave free roam for Tatum and Walker to handle the ball in the half court and have a lot of space for them to do. Because if you think about this, the Celtics were basically having Tatum and Walker run the offense in the half court with Brown, Smart, and Williams spacing the floor. So, and it worked out really well, because Walker and Tatum, I believe, combined for 13 of the 20 points the Celtics scored in the fourth quarter. So, and they had some timely shots as well. I know Walker, he had the 3-pointer right to start the fourth quarter to put the Celtics up 4. And Tatum had some timely shots down the stretch whenever the Raptors got the game close. So that super small ball lineup really worked out. Now, the Raptors, on the other hand, they kind of went with a small ball lineup. I'm guessing Siakam was center, but Siakam, obviously, he struggled a lot, in this game. Let me just pull up his numbers real quick. So Siakam, he had 13 points, 11 rebounds. Okay, he had a double-double, but he shot 5 of 12 from the field, and he also had 5 turnovers, 4 fouls, and had a plus-minus of -3. So now he did make a couple of buckets in the fourth quarter to keep the game close, but Siakam really needs to expand his game more. I like Siakam as a player. I think he has potential. I wouldn't say he has a lot of potential, but he can expand if he expands his scoring arsenal. Like, if you compare him and Tatum, for example, right? There's a reason why Tatum, despite it being his 3rd year in the league, there's a reason why Brad Stevens and the rest of the team trust Tatum to handle the ball down the stretch of a game 7 in a playoff game like you saw tonight. Tatum can score in any way he wants while also being able to handle the ball down the stretch. Well, with Siakam, you can tell Siakam is still very limited in terms of what he can do offensively, which is why he only had 13 points on 12 shots. He should have taken more shots, and he played 41 minutes as well. So yeah, definitely. Siakam is partly to blame, and he's definitely gonna have to expand his game for next season. But yeah, the Celtics, I think, going with that super small app really worked out for them. Walker finally came through and decided to be aggressive, or at least as aggressive as he could be. Because I said he had 7 points in the fourth quarter, and he had 14 points overall. So Walker, the problem with Walker is that I wonder how effective he's gonna be against Miami, because Miami, they have a lot of really good wing defenders. So Walker really struggled throughout this series. If he's struggling in this series, I don't even want to think about how he's gonna do against Miami, a team that, in my opinion, is much better defensively than the Raptors. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how that goes. So, and also Tatum with back-to-back, really big games. Tatum's been awesome for the Celtics basically this entire playoff run. He's really emerged as a player. I'm honestly surprised at how developed his game has become and how amazing he's been. Same thing with Jaylen Brown as well. Brown played really well, though. He did have that scary fall on that dunk in the fourth quarter. I thought he hyperextended his knee there. At least that's how it looked like from my angle. And Marcus Smart, oh my god, Marcus Smart, he is just. I've been following Marcus Smart since high school, pretty much, and I have to admit, I did not expect him to be in this scenario where he's making big blocks and big defensive plays down the stretch of Game 7 of a playoff series like this. Marcus Smart, it's really nice to see how much he's developed throughout his athletic career. So props to him for having such a great game. But yeah, the Celtics were able to get it done. Most of the thing I'm doing is probably an Raptors off-season shopping list. There's how they can improve the team for next season. I'll probably do it for the Nuggets and the Rockets as well. Basically for whichever team's losing this series, because like I said in my Nuggets Clippers video, I still think the Clippers are gonna close out the Nuggets in Game 6 on Sunday, and I'm very sure the Lakers are gonna beat the Rockets. I don't see any way the Rockets come back and beat the Lakers, not unless Harden starts averaging 50 a game or something like that. So, but yeah, those are just my initial reactions. I said the Celtics should have closed out the Raptors in 5 games, in my opinion. They were the better team this entire series, but they got it done. Now they're gonna face Miami, so props to them.